Hello everyone and welcome to my Starfire work log. So today I'm going to be showing you how I made my Starfire cosplay, the one that I created from her Starfire comics. So what you're going to need is some purple 4-way stretch fabric and some silver 4-way stretch fabric. You're going to also need to get some resin to make her jewels, and you're also going to need to get some resin dye, or you can use paint. And then optional, if you want to not do patterns, you can just use the a shirt that looks kind of like hers and a pair of shorts that kind of represents what you're going to need. But I'm going to be making all my patterns, so what you're going to need to do is draw out your shorts pattern. These are a pattern for high-waisted shorts, and then you're going to need to cut out 2 of them, and then you're going to need to pin them down and sew them. I will link the tutorial on how I'll link the video of the tutorial on how I learned how to do this, so it's really easy to follow, and yeah. Next is all sewed up, and so I ended up hemming the bottom of it really badly, but you can't really see it that well. Thankfully you can't see it at all. And then what I'm gonna need to do is either cut off the extra fabric, but what I ended up doing is just folding it over to create a thicker band for the top where the belt is gonna be going over for more support. The next what I did was just add on the 3 lines for her silver stripes going down the middle of her outfit. These are 1 centimeter. You want to base them off how whatever size that you are. So I use 1 centimeter because it'll look the right size. I hope you get what I'm trying to say. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Next, I created the belt. I was originally trying to go for the V shape, but it didn't really end up the way I wanted it to. I probably should have created it separately with elastic in the middle of it, but I didn't get that far ahead in my plans on how to do this, so I just kind of folded over some fabric, silver fabric, on top of it to create the belt. Next is the shirt. I don't know what I did for this, to be honest. I don't even know how I made this even look like a shirt, but I just kind of cut out a piece of tracing paper and then with my measurements on it. I had to cut this down a lot because this was really big, but you just need a basic crop top pattern for your shirt. And then I ended up sewing down the sleeves and then creating the arm brace out of the silver. You want to make sure you cut the purple fabric and the silver fabric at an angle, because that's what it is on her shirt. It's kind of like an angle upwards, forwards / dash thing, and you want to sew it up. And then here is the sewed up sleeve. I left off quite a bit of extra fabric at the bottom so I could cut it down into the silver, the hand cover bracer thingy bobbers later on, the last thing I would do. So I suggest leaving off about 2 inches above, well, I don't know, just leave off some area, like a bunch of fabric to cover up your hands so you can see what I do later. You're also going to need to add on the collar and a invisible zipper on the back. I forgot to film that, so you just sew on an invisible zipper and the collar, because you can't fit your head through the size of your neck, unfortunately. I tried, it doesn't work. Next next we are going to make these shoes. These are just a pair of Target slip-on shoes. I ended up spray painting the sides where it's white at because I had an idea but it didn't work out, so I ended up just spray painting the sides. You don't have to do that because I learned for you guys. So yeah, so what you're gonna do next is you're just basically gonna be making like a sock that your shoe goes into. So you want to take a piece of fabric and find out where it's going to go, up to your mid-thigh, middle of your thigh, and then you're just going to pin it down all the way down your leg and then to your shoe. Be careful at this part because the pins will stick you when you try to take them off, like this off your leg. And I couldn't bend my knee because I had like 5 pins sticking into the back of my knee, and you know I couldn't do anything. I was kind of stuck in this position for a while. And this is what it looks like once you sew it down. I ended up adding a clear elastic band at the top inside of it because it kept falling down when I took a step if I didn't. So then what you're going to do next, because I didn't show it, is you're going to take the bottom of the purple and put it to the edge of the shoe and glue it down. I used liquid stitching, and then I took the silver fabric and went around the sole of the shoe to create the silver band around it, and used rubber cement and liquid stitching. But you can use E600 because I know, or 6000 or whatever that's called, because it works probably better than I did. And this is what it looks like when you have one completed version with the silver bands on top of it and one that doesn't have everything completed. Next is the resin, if I can speak correctly. What you're gonna do is take your little molds for your jewels, and you want to spray in some mold releaser into that, or else you're gonna have a real hard time getting it out. I did. Don't use plastic. You're gonna have to break the whole thing. So we're gonna put in equal parts of the two stuff. I don't know what it is. Just put equal parts of it in, and then add in 2 drops of the resin dye, or 1 if you want it to be lighter. I made mine a little too dark. And then just stir it up together. And then when you're done, just pour it into your little molds and let it harden for 3 days. Yeah. And this is what the jewel will look like once you get it out of your mold. You definitely, okay, it's not focusing in on it, I'm sorry, but you're gonna want to sand down the edges of it. As you can see, mine isn't exactly perfect. I have where the mold releaser wasn't already dry, so it kind of created this white foam effect on it. And if you look real closely in it, you can see like a bunch of like little microscopic bubbles, but it's not really microscopic, so you can see with your eyes, but you know what I mean. To create the band of silver around it, you can use thermoplastic, but I didn't have any, and I wasn't going to go buy some because that's too much money for me to spend on this outfit already. I used rubber cement and a piece of the silver fabric around it. Again, just stretched it out around it to create the illusion of it being encased in some type of silver metal type of thing. I don't know if that makes sense. And then you're going to want to cut out the holes in her shorts and her shirt. To create the bigger holes, I just use like the outline of a cup, and then for the smaller holes, I use the rubber cement cap outline. Make sure you put down your whole outfit's finished before you do this, because it's the last thing you want to do onto your outfit. And you want to create a silver band around it. I just used liquid stitching around it because it would have been too much effort for me to sew it down. So liquid stitching was the way to go. And you want to make sure it's even all the way around because it's a circle and you're going to have extra like in the inside, so make sure you cut out the extra in your inside. And after that, you're pretty much done. That's what I did to create my Starfire outfit. If I managed to win something with it, I'm sure you could make it much better than what I did because I gave myself like a month. If you have any questions, just leave them down below. I'll be happy to answer them to the best of my ability. Yeah, I think that's it, so bye.